Hey coffee lovers, welcome to our channel. I am Kristupas from Coffee Friend, and today we're gonna introduce you to one of the best-selling coffee machines of all time, DeLonghi Magnifica S. We'll introduce you to its main characteristics, its main functions, and at the end we're gonna give you a quick summary of its main pros and cons. Here's some history of DeLonghi Magnifica S line itself. It was introduced all the way back in 2009 and it turned into an instant bestseller, which is still to this day. These models are the best-selling in the Europe. In 2021, over 1 million of units had been sold. So, what makes this line so special? A really affordable price, around 300 euros, which is really cheap for a coffee machine. It's really easy to use it and maintain it. Also, it has main classic favorite drinks, espresso and black coffee. Also, if you like coffee drinks with milk, no worries. It has a steam wand and you can easily make your favorite cappuccino. This model comes in several variations. Today we have a black one. It's called 22.112.B. The letter at the end indicates the color of the machine. So yeah, as I said, today we have a black one. It also comes in white and gray. And one other thing that differs is the steam wand. It comes in metal or plastic. So today we have a brand new DeLonghi Magnifica S. We're gonna unpack it together, see how it looks, what is inside, and then we'll check how it works. So what we have inside is a user manual, ground coffee scoop, and descaling liquid. So what can be said about this coffee machine at the first glance? In terms of design, it's modern and simple, with a black body and silver details. Such a versatile look means it will suit any interior, a true classic. Now for the dimensions. When it was launched in 2009, this model impressed everyone with how small and compact it was, especially because at that time the most coffee machines were almost twice as big. Even today, compared to other bean-to-cup models, it remains one of the most compact options. Depth, 43 centimeters, height, 34 centimeters, width, 23.8 centimeters, and it weighs only 10 kilograms. What else can we see? Let's take a look at these coffee spouts. So if you want to make a short cup of coffee, for example, espresso, you want to lower down these coffee spouts so your coffee splashes less and stays hotter. Also, if you want to make a larger cup, for example, you want latte macchiato, you can fit also a tall glass. Onto the steam nozzle. It is used to froth milk and dispense hot water. And finally, the cup tray. When the coffee machine is turned on, it emits a little bit of heat, so you can store your cups here and they stay warm. It helps your coffee stay warmer and have a better taste. Now let's find out how to get this machine ready to use. At first, location. So few tips. Machine generates heat, so we have to have at least 3 centimeters around it. Also, we have to have some space above it, because here we have a coffee bean container and we'll be refilling it every day, so we need at least 15 centimeters of space above the coffee machine. One more thing, don't place it near sink or tap because water and humidity can damage it. So, as I said, here is the bean container. It holds 250 grams of coffee beans, so just under any circumstances don't put flavored beans because they can easily damage your grinder. So let's fill it up. You can use ground coffee in this machine too. Here's where you put it. We suggest you use coffee beans, though, because that's what a bean-to-cup coffee machine is there for. It's meant to serve your coffee made from freshly ground beans, which is when you drink it at its most fragrant. As for the water tank, what makes this model and most DeLonghi models special is that it's not located at the end. It conveniently pulls out through the front It holds 1.8 liters of water and it is approximately 15 cups of your black coffee. So we have a brand new coffee machine here. So at first, what is important, we need to place a cup of at least 100 milliliters capacity under the steam knob. Press on and off button, then turn the steam knob. The machine will fill the system with water, and when the water stops running, return the knob to its original position. Brief comment on rinsing. This is done every time you turn on or off your machine. Some people don't like it. They even ask us how to turn off this function, but it serves a great purpose though. So firstly, hygiene. It removes all the coffee residue in it. And secondly, it heats the brewing system, so you get your first cup at exact temperature you want. Now, let's move on to the control panel. What do we see? On-off button, 4 coffee drinks, steam button, and in the middle we have a coffee volume strength adjuster. Below there's a button that lets you access maintenance programs. As you can see, there's a small screen too, where special symbols appear. At the first glance, everything looks simple, but the tricky part comes when an unknown symbol appears or when you want to change a certain setting or program the machine differently. That's when the user manual comes in handy. Use it to figure out what the symbols mean and what certain button combinations do. Finally, there's the most important part, which is of course making coffee. Simply press the desired button to get a coffee made from freshly ground beans. And there you have it, a classic espresso made from a bean-to-cup coffee machine. It smells really good. And it tastes good also. Next, let's find out how to adjust the taste of your coffee and what exactly you can change. First, there's the strength of your coffee. Turning this dial to the left will decrease the strength, while turning it to the right will increase it. The lowest available setting corresponds to about 6 grams of coffee and the highest stops at 14 grams. So every time you make coffee, you can choose the amount you want. You can change the serving size too. A lot of people don't know this, but it can be adjusted. We get calls often that the coffee is great, delicious, but it would be even better if the serving size was larger. So, how do we change these settings? It's simple. Place a cup under the spouts, then press and hold the button you want to reprogram until the light starts flashing and coffee begins to flow. Release the button and wait for the desired amount to be dispensed. Then simply press the same button again, no holding this time. The new serving size is programmed. Also, there's one more handy feature that few people know about. If you prepare a serving and then realize you want it larger, you can simply press the same button over the next 3 seconds and hold it to keep the coffee flowing. Could changing amount be a little simpler? Honestly, yes. But it still does the job, as long as you know how to get there. You can adjust the taste of your coffee by changing the grind size too. This machine has a metal, ultra-durable grinder with 13 different grind settings. Let's find out when and how to change them, as well as why you should do it at all. First of all, when. If your coffee is too watery and there's too little crema, make the grind finer. But if the coffee is barely even flowing, you should make the grind coarser instead. How to adjust the grinder? So make sure to do it only when it's grinding. Press any of the coffee buttons and while you can hear the sound of grinding, turn the knob 1 step to your chosen side. Left for a coarser or right for a finer grind. The grinder will adjust to the setting as you brew a few more cups. We already mentioned that you can use pre-ground coffee in your coffee machine as well. This can come in handy if you received some coffee as a gift, or you came from a recent trip and you brought it recently. Also, if there is a decaf drinker in your household and the coffee beans container is full of caffeinated beans. But keep in mind, the ground coffee drawer is not designed to store ground coffee for a long period of time. Use it only before brewing coffee. There is a special ground coffee scoop included in the set. First, select the ground coffee function. Turn the knob to the ground coffee scoop symbol. Add 1 level scoop of ground coffee into the ground coffee drawer.
Place a cup under the spouts and press the desired coffee button.
A little tip: if you add too much coffee, your brewing unit will become clogged and your coffee won't be dispensed.
Pay attention to the grind size of the coffee. If it's too fine, the same clogging issue will come up. And if it's too coarse, your coffee may be too watery. In conclusion, for the simplest and most convenient option, just use coffee beans instead.
Now, let's talk about milk frothing. So this coffee machine lets you enjoy all the milk-based drinks too. So for that, we're gonna need milk. And to do all of these milk-based drinks, we're gonna use a manual milk frother. So, how does it work? First, you're gonna need some milk. It's best to use chilled milk straight from the fridge with fat content of up to 2.5% and protein content of at least 3 grams per 100 grams. So first, let's pour some milk into a jug. And just keep in mind that the amount of milk will double or even triple after the milk frothing.
Press the steam button and wait for the machine to get ready. Immerse the steam wand in the milk and turn the steam knob. To make your foam thicker, slowly move the jug upwards. Finish by returning the knob to its original position. By mixing espresso with milk foam in a different order and different quantities, you will make every milk-based coffee out there, from cappuccino and latte macchiato to espresso macchiato.
Okay, so let's try it. It's pretty good. You can use the steam wand to dispense some hot water too. It's all really simple. Just place a cup under the steam wand, turn the steam knob, and that's it. One thing to keep in mind that coffee machine is not a kettle. It won't heat your water up to 100 degrees. The maximum is 96 degrees. So just keep in mind that it may be not enough for certain teas. So, as we already mentioned before, this machine displays certain symbols and some settings can be accessed only using secret button combinations. You can find them in user manual, but to avoid you going through all of this material, we're gonna explore this together right now. First, you can change the water temperature, but why should you? Some people might think that their coffee is too cold, while others might think that it's too hot. So how do we solve this problem? Switch the machine off using the button on the front panel. Press the button for 1 espresso and hold it until the symbols on the control panel light up. Press the espresso button again to select the desired temperature. It will increase with each symbol. Press the coffee button to confirm your selection. Few tips for those who like their coffee hotter. Before making your coffee, heat up the system with the rinse function or warm your cups with the hot water function. Another setting that can be adjusted is automatic switch off time. Switch the coffee machine off, press the button of 2 coffee servings, then hold it until the symbols of the control panel light up. Press the espresso button to select the desired time. 1 symbol stands for 15 minutes, 2 symbols 30 minutes, 3 symbols 1 hour, 4 symbols 2 hours, and 5 symbols 3 hours. To confirm your selection, press the coffee button. Finally, there's the option of activating energy saving mode. This will reduce energy consumption, but it will also take a little bit longer because it will need some extra time to heat up the system, so just keep that in mind. How to switch this mode on or off? Switch the machine off, press the steam button and wait for the echo symbol to appear on the display. If you want to deactivate this mode, press the espresso button, the echo symbol will start flashing. If you want to activate it, press the espresso button again. The echo symbol will stop flashing. To confirm, press the button for 1 coffee serving. Now let's talk about daily maintenance of your machine. It's really simple. Regarding the drip tray and grounds container. The grounds container holds around 14 servings of used coffee grounds. That's quite a lot, but it may fill up as the day goes by. So we suggest you empty and clean the grounds container and drip tray daily, even if they're not full yet. An important thing to bear in mind:
Always empty the drip tray and grounds container together, and do so when the machine is switched on. Otherwise, the internal calculator of your machine will malfunction and start asking you to dump the grounds or empty the drip tray when there's nothing in them, or vice versa. Pay attention to the red float in the drip tray. If it rises, this means your drip tray is full. By the way, you should always check the red condensate tray when you remove the drip tray as well. It may need to be emptied too. Let's clean the milk frother now. Cleaning it after each use is a must. It will prevent milk residue and bacteria from accumulating inside. Let's do this together. Place an empty container under the steam wand and then dispense water for a few seconds. Wait a few minutes for the wand to cool down, then remove the top section. Remove the steam wand from the machine. Wash all components thoroughly with warm water and a sponge. Put everything back on. There is non-daily maintenance of your Magnifica S machine to discuss too. One of the most important parts of your coffee machine is brewing unit. Most of the people don't even know that it exists or where is it. So let's find it together and let's discuss how to clean it. First, switch your machine off. Remove the water tank and open the internal door. Press the red buttons to remove the brewing unit. If you don't clean it, coffee residue accumulates on it over time, and this can easily lead to mold growth. As a result, your drinks are far from tasty. To prevent this from happening, clean the brewing unit at least once a month. Once you pull it out, soak it in clean water for 5 minutes. Don't use any chemicals. Then rinse it thoroughly under running water. If there's any residue stuck to it, you can scrub it off with a brush. You can even vacuum the inside of your machine or clean it thoroughly with a cloth. Finally, put the brewing unit back in. By the way, brewing unit in this coffee machine is really compact. It's easy to put it in and take it out. Also, it is way smaller than brewing units in other coffee machines. Other brewing units require even additional lubrication. Now let's talk about maintaining the water system. As we mentioned in the beginning of the video, this machine does not come with a water hardness test or a water filter. That's why we suggest you strongly to buy it separately. So let's discuss water hardness first. Your coffee machine cannot detect what type of water you're using. Therefore, it calculates how many liters of water ran through the system. So just keep in mind that water hardness is important. If you don't set the water hardness at first, then the machine defaults the setting to the hardest one. That's why you will need to do descaling way more often than you should. Just keep in mind that limescale deposits are the main enemy of all coffee machines. Therefore, you should really pay attention to it. So, how to measure the hardness of your water. Immerse the water hardness test strip in a glass of water for a few seconds. Take it out, shake it off, and wait for around a minute. The number of red squares on the strip will determine how hard your water is. So, it looks like we have a really hard water. Now, how to select the right water hardness in your coffee machine. Make sure that your coffee machine is switched off. Press the maintenance button and hold it for at least 6 seconds until symbols appear on the display. Press the espresso button to select the right water hardness. One symbol corresponds to 1 square of the test strip. Press the button for 1 coffee serving to confirm. Let's move on to the water filter. You can skip this option and just set the right hardness of your machine and do the descaling regularly, but we still suggest you to use water filters. First, they protect your machine from limescale, which is the #1 cause of coffee machine malfunctions. It also enables you to do descaling a lot less often. Secondly, a water filter improves the taste of your coffee. It is easy to forget that almost 99% of your coffee is just water. If your water is really hard, then it's harder for it to absorb coffee flavors. So how do we install and set up the water filter then? Remove the water filter from its packaging. Then put it under a water tap and hold it there until about a half liter of water passes through it. There is a date indicator on the filter. Set it so that a date 2 months in the future is displayed. This is when you'll have to replace your filter. Remove the water tank from your machine. If the machine isn't brand new and you've been using it for a while, Take this opportunity to wash the tank thoroughly too. Use a few drops of dishwashing liquid and a cloth, then rinse it well. Fill the tank with water and immerse the water filter in it completely to let any bubbles out. Put the filter in its holder. Put the water tank in the machine. Place an empty container with a capacity of at least 100 milliliters under the milk frother. Then start dispensing hot water. Once it starts flowing in a consistent stream, turn the water off. Your filter is activated.
One more thing to remember, the machine will not remind you that you have to change the filter after 2 months, so just keep in mind that you should do that. Also, if you're planning on not using your coffee machine for a while, keep in mind that the shelf life of water filter that is not being used is 3 weeks. Onto the descaling program. This machine has a built-in descaling program. Depending on how hard your water is and how often you use your machine, it will ask you to descale at certain intervals, and it does so with the help of a flashing rinse button. How to descale your machine? First, you'll need a special coffee machine descaling liquid. Just never use citric acid or vinegar. It can easily damage the appliance. The descaling program itself includes a number of button combinations, and because a lot of you asked how to descale this machine, we already have a video of doing it, and you will find it in the description below. One more thing to mention when talking about non-daily maintenance is cleaning the coffee spouts. Wipe them thoroughly with a cloth at least once a month. While you're at it, check the inside for any coffee residue too, and clean it using a toothpick if needed. So, we have covered the main characteristics, functions and maintenance of this coffee machine. And to sum up, it's no surprise that this machine, released all the way back in 2009, is still a bestseller. Its pros include modern look and compact dimensions, simple preparation of classic drinks, ultra-convenient brewing unit maintenance, excellent combination of quality, features and price. What can pose some challenges in our opinion? Adjusting serving size, as we already seen, it's not really simple. A display with symbols. To change certain settings or carry out maintenance programs, you'll need to have the user manual or our video at hand. If you enjoyed this review or find it useful, press like. We'll also be waiting for some comments or questions below the video. If you're not a subscriber, do it now, because more exciting videos are coming up. So see you later and enjoy your coffee.